Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna. You're not looking at me.
Hare Krishna,
Looking
Mataji.
somewhere. Hare Krishna, my humble obeisances. All glories to Srila Prabhupada.
Which are my humble obeisances, Mataji. All glories to Srila Prabhupada. I'm trying to live stream it, so I couldn't see you.
I know that. You're seeing the top. So I said, I put like this, and she's not looking at me. So how are you?
Good, Mataji. Krishna's mercy.
Yeah, your internet is also Krishna's mercy.
Yeah. We'll begin, Mataji. Jaya Jaya Sri Chaitanya Jaya Nityananda.
Jaya Jaya Sri Chaitanya
Jaya Dvaita Chandra Jaya Gaura Bhakta Vrinda.
Jaya Advaita
Jaya Jaya Sri Chaitanya Jaya Nityananda.
Jaya Jaya Sri Chaitanya Jaya Nityananda.
Advaita Chandra Jaya Gaura Bhakta Vrinda.
Jaya Dvaita Chandra Jaya Gaura Bhakta Vrinda.
Jaya Jaya Sri Chaitanya Jaya Nityananda.
Jaya Jaya Sri Chaitanya Jaya
Advaita Chandra
Nityananda.
Jaya Gaura Bhakta Vrinda.
Jaya Dvaita Chandra Jaya Gaura Bhakta Vrinda.
Sri Chaitanya Charitamrita ki jai.
Jai
Srila Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami ki jai.
Jai
Srila Prabhupada ki jai.
Jai
Om Ajnanatimirandhasya Jnananjana Salakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Sri Gurave Namaha. Sri Chaitanya Manobhishtam Sthapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupah Kada Mahyam Dadati Swapadantikam. Namo Om Vishnupadaya Krishna Preshtaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swami Niti Namine Namaste Saraswate Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschatya Deshatarine. Jai Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Sri Advaita Gadadhar Srivasadi Gaur Bhakta. Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, dear devotees. Welcome to today's Sri Chaitanya Charitamrita reading. We are reading from Sri Chaitanya Charitamrita, Madhya Leela. Madhya Leela, chapter 1. Madhya Leela, chapter 1, which is the synopsis of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's later pastimes of Mahaprabhu after accepting sannyas. And so we now Srila Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami began the pastimes of the Lord in chronological order. He gave, so at first we got an overview of the later pastimes. The later pastimes are divided into 3 sections. First 6 years of traveling, next 6 years of preaching, sending devotees. Although Mahaprabhu personally stayed in Jagannath Puri, he was sending devotees for spreading the Hare Krishna movement. He was still, performing congregational chanting, setting example to his devotees. And then finally, last 12 years, how Mahaprabhu was experiencing the bhava of Srimati Radharani in great separation from Krishna. So there we discussed the 2 verses that Mahaprabhu recited and the analysis of that verse by Srila Rupa Goswami, and through that we get an understanding of what it is that Mahaprabhu was experiencing when he was reciting those verses. After saying this, now Srila Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami begins to explain the sequence of the pastimes. More, it's like in sutras. Sutras means short phrases. So this is meant to give us like a table of contents, a list of pastimes that Mahaprabhu performed after accepting sannyas. And also he makes it clear that he's simply giving an indication of these verses. The depth of the verses, of course, he will discuss it again later on. This is the beginning, he's just giving a list. And also he said he's not covering all the pastimes because the Lord's pastimes are unlimited in number. So he cannot give all the pastimes, just a few principal pastimes he's giving. So with that, we began with the first, what did Mahaprabhu do after he took sannyas? So we read that he traveled to Vrindavan. Travel to matlab meaning he set out to go to Vrindavan. And on this journey, he went to Radha Desh, where there is no Ganga flowing. He stayed there for 3 days, and then Lord Nityananda Prabhu tricked him into going to Shantipur. How? Because walking, he brought him to the banks of river Ganges and said, now we have arrived at Yamuna. So then Chaitanya Mahaprabhu thought he was actually in Vrindavan, right? So here, after 3 days, Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu came to the house of Advaitacharya at Shantipur. And then also we read, of course, the details we'll read again later on, but Mahaprabhu was surprised, and then he accepted his first bhiksha as a sannyasi at the home of Advaitacharya. So there Srila Prabhupada said that Mahaprabhu, when he was traveling in the forests on the way to Vrindavan. So remember, we were reading in Chaitanya Bhagavatam that Mahaprabhu said, I'm going to go to Vakreshwar Tirtha. So Nrsimha Praladeshwar Prabhu said that is in Bengal only. So he went in that direction. So the idea is he was going to go to Vrindavan. But then he turned around and he came back. So that's what we read there. Also, we discussed a little bit about why there are some differences in the pastimes, some slight differences in the pastimes given in Chaitanya Bhagavat as opposed to the pastimes in Caitanya Charitamrita. We just analyzed it a little bit. So now we'll continue. Mahaprabhu is at Advaitacharya's home. Nityananda Prabhu tricked him and brought him to Advaitacharya's home. There, Mahaprabhu accepted prasadam, and all night long he performed kirtan, and the devotees felt the same ecstasy as they felt before when Mahaprabhu was with them as a grihastha every day performing kirtan. So like this, Mahaprabhu spent for whatever days that he was in Shantipur, he was performing Sankirtan with the devotees. And then, did we read that he decided to go to Jagannath Puri? Maybe we have to start with, we will start with text 95 now. Let me just go to 94 purport. So in the purport, Srila Prabhupada said, every night the Lord executed congregational chanting. And also Sachi Devi, Sachi Mata was brought to Shantipur and she was cooking for him every day. All his meals she was cooking. Text 95. Mata Bhakta Ganerataha Korila Milana Sarva Samadhana Kori Koilo Niladri Gamana. At the house of Advaita Prabhu, he met his mother as well as all the devotees from Mayapur. He adjusted everything and then went to Jagannath Puri. Adjusted everything means what? He left kind of abruptly. Of course, those who are confidential devotees, he informed them. Not only informed, he actually took their permission. He told them why he was taking sannyas and they agreed. But he didn't give exactly the date and time when he's leaving. And he just left in the middle of the night, right? Early hours of the morning, like really in the dark. He left. So they were all in a shock. in separation from him. They didn't expect that this would happen, and they were on the verge of, death, practically giving up their bodies in separation from Mahaprabhu. So when he came to Shantipur, he called for all the devotees from Navadvip, and his mother, of course, his wife could not come. That's the very sad part, because he's a sannyasi and Vishnupriya is a wife, and she could not come. But his mother was there, and all the devotees, and just not devotees, everyone, all the villagers, not just Navadvip but from everywhere else, they just came. So he samadhan, right? He adjusted everything. Why? Pacified them, right? So we will see that how he adjusted everything. But this verse is saying that he'd had a talk with them, he adjusted everything, right? Convinced them, pacified them, and with their permission only, actually, then he went to Jagannath Puri. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu knew very well that his acceptance of sannyas was a thunderbolt for his mother. He therefore called for his mother and the devotees from Mayapur, and by the arrangement of Sri Advaita Acharya, he met them for the last time. Mahaprabhu is coming. It's not like now he will come and visit them every now and then, once a year. Not like that. It was not like coming. Sannyas means it's a social suicide. So, but because it was such a shock for them, just to pacify them, he went. That's why here it is said he met them for the last time after his acceptance of sannyas. His mother was overwhelmed with grief when she saw that he was clean shaven. There was no longer any beautiful hair on his head. Mother Sachi was pacified by all the devotees, and Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu asked her to cook for him because he was very hungry, not having taken anything for 3 days. His mother immediately agreed, and forgetting everything else, she cooked for Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu during all the days she was at the house of Sri Advaita Prabhu. Then, after a few days, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu requested his mother's permission to go to Jagannath Puri. At his mother's request, he made Jagannath Puri his headquarters after his acceptance of sannyas. Thus, everything was adjusted, and with his mother's permission, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu proceeded toward Jagannath Puri. So, with mother's permission, he left. So, the details we will read again later on. But पथे नाना लीला रसे देव दर्शन Madhava Purira Katha Gopala Sthapana. On the way toward Jagannath Puri, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu performed many other pastimes. This is what we are reading in Chaitanya Bhagavatam. Mahaprabhu on the way to Jagannath Puri, that's the subject. On the way toward Jagannath Puri, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu performed many other pastimes. He visited various temples and heard the story about Madhavendra Puri and the installation of Gopal. Purport. This Madhava Puri is Madhavendra Puri, because in the shloka it says Madhava Purira Katha. So Srila Prabhupada is explaining Madhava Puri means Madhavendra Puri. This Madhava Puri is Madhavendra Puri. Another Madhava Puri is Madhavacharya, not Madhvacharya, Madhavacharya, who was the spiritual master of a devotee in the line of Gadadhar Pandit. Okay? So this Madhava Puri is Madhavendra Puri. Another Madhava Puri is Madhavacharya, the spiritual master of Gadadhar Pandit, and who wrote a book known as Sri Mangala Bhashya. Madhavacharya, however, is different from Madhavendra Puri, who is mentioned in this verse. Kirachuri Kotha Sakshi Gopala Vivarana Nityananda Koilo Prabhura Danda Bhanjana. So what all pastimes happened when Mahaprabhu was on the way to Jagannath Puri? Translation. From Nityananda Prabhu, Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu heard the story of Kira Churi Gopinath and of the witness Gopal, Sakshi Gopal. Then Nityananda Prabhu broke the sannyas rod belonging to Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Purport. This Kira Churi Gopinath is situated in Remuna, about 4 miles away from the Baleshwar, Balasore station, where we had that accident recently, train accident. So, Remuna is 4 miles from Baleshwar, Balasore station on the Northeastern Railway, formerly known as the Bengal Mayapur Railway. Northeastern Railway formerly was called Bengal Mayapur Railway. This station is situated a few miles away from the famous Kharagpur Junction station. Some time ago, the charge of the temple was given to Shyam Sundar Adhikari from Gopi Vallabhpur. So these names we have seen when we were reading about the Caitanya tree. Shyam Sundar Adhikari from Gopi Vallabhpur, which lies on the border of the district of Medinipur. Shyam Sundar Adhikari was a descendant of Rasikananda Murari, the chief disciple of Shyamananda Goswami. A few miles before the Jagannath Puri station is a small station called Sakshi Gopal. Near this station is a village named Satyavadi, where the temple of Sakshi Gopal is situated. So the station itself is called, the railway station is called Sakshi Gopal, and the village where you find the actual temple is called Satyavadi. So the point is, just to tell us, one reason can be why Srila Prabhupada gives the details of the actual location whenever we read about some pastimes, that Mahaprabhu went to Sakshi Gopal, Mahaprabhu went to Remuna. You see, this is just one reason, but this impression is given to us when we read about the scriptures, about Ramayana, about Mahabharata, that it is mythology, it's a myth. You know, myth means that which does not exist, it's an imagination. And all the pastimes that we read from the Puranas, from Ramayana, from Mahabharata, you know, all the demigods and the Supreme Lord's pastimes, the British have titled, so there's one person called Max Muller. I don't know if you have heard this name before. Max Muller was appointed by the British government to write an essay on the Vedas, about what the Vedas are, what the Indian scriptures are. And he learned Sanskrit because Vedas are given in Sanskrit language. And then, reading the Vedas, he gave his opinion, kind of like a translation or his essay. He wrote an essay on the Vedas. That's the only English work on the Vedas. And then they made the education system in India in English. They were really promoting education in English. As all of us, we are all actually products of that, isn't it? That means also, you know, anyone who studied in an English medium school or college will be recognized more, will be given more importance, will be given preference, as opposed to those who study in the local vernacular language schools. They will be considered not so advanced. Preference was given to English speaking. Now, whatever they teach in their textbooks, and who writes these textbooks? English speaking people, they will write. They write about our culture, about the Indian culture, about the Vedic culture. They write, they give an impression, this is what it is. And what impression do they give about Vedic culture? So it was very systematically done, acting like the disciples of Kali, they removed that faith, that in the faith in Vedic culture that was coming down in parampara for generations and generations. Very systematically through this education system, they have removed that faith in the hearts of people. And they also, because now that is all we study, and our teachers, it's natural for students to have respect for the teachers. Why? Because that is our culture. It is our culture to honor the teacher, to honor the doctor, to honor the parents, right? Whatever they say, you respect them, you accept what they say as the Veda. Unfortunately, the teachers and the books that they were teaching from to us was totally against the Vedic culture, against the Vedas, against the Supreme Lord. And year after year, right from childhood, right from the beginning, we are taught, and then we lost touch with our own culture in the scriptures, in the Vedas, isn't it?
Matrudevo Bhava, Pitrudevo Bhava, Acharya Devo.
Acharya Devo Bhava, Atithi Devo Bhava.
Atithi
Like that.
Devo.
Yeah. So we lost touch with the Vedas, with the scriptures. Very systematically they removed. And then we have to study the books that they give. If you don't, even now, my daughter, she's in 6th grade, and she tells me they're teaching all nonsense in social studies. I said, why? What happened? They're teaching us about the religions of the world, and about a Hindu religion. They say that they don't have one God. They don't have one God. They have many gods. They don't know. And every other religion has one God. But Hindus, they don't have one God. So there's no Supreme Lord. Like this. So now the point that I'm saying is, for you to get good grades, you have to write what they're teaching. You cannot tell them, no, this is not right, this is what it is, because you have to follow the textbooks. If you say something else, then you don't. This is like the initial stages, or even our children now. That will be their situation, because they are hearing from Bhagavad Gita, they are hearing from Srimad Bhagavatam and from the parents, and when they go to school, they read something else. So that's when you have to adjust and explain to them what it is. If you have a dialogue with the teacher, you can explain, but at the same time, don't take that to heart. That like, this is what it is. No, it is not. That is just to, So, I mean, ideal situation would be to have our own schools where we don't have to waste time studying these things. But nevertheless, this is also a lesson to see, do you get an idea of what it is that people are thinking. But, when you're very small, very young, such impressions are formed. So it's important that we constantly talk with the children and, make sure that we give our values from the scriptures to them. So anyway, so what happened was, this person, Max Muller, wrote an essay on the Vedas. Now, whatever research is done in religious studies about the Vedas, because we are never taught Sanskrit in schools, and even when we are taught just for a year or two, it is not sufficient for you to actually study and grasp and understand. It takes at least 12 years to study Sanskrit grammar. Besides that, you should have the samskaras of a Brahmana to be able to actually study and be able to communicate in that language. It's not for everyone. It's not for everyone. And then how you will understand this? By mantra diksha. When you get that mantra diksha, that samskara, then by the mercy of the Lord, now practicing what is given in the scriptures, what is given in the Vedas, like the sadhana that is described in the Vedas, when you actually follow that sadhana, by the Lord's mercy, you will realize the meaning of the mantras, the meaning of what is given in the Vedas. That is the system. Not that you learn Sanskrit and then you just go and open the Vedas and now you write a commentary. You won't understand what is the meaning, or what is the, that's Bhagavad Gita as it is. Why as it is? Because and also mantra diksha is important. This knowledge comes down from the heart of the guru to the disciple in disciplic succession. But without doing all that, obviously they were eating meat, engaging in other activities, and also studying Sanskrit, maybe smoking and writing commentary on the Vedas. And now we accept that. That becomes our authority of what is there in the scriptures. And whatever research is done, the law book for Vedic studies is what's written by Max Moore. So there, when he gave his essay, how did he write? He called all the Puranas, all the Vedas as mythology. And if you remember, for us, of course, we didn't know what mythology was when we were in school. But as soon as we hear the word mythological stories, we would think, oh, this is about gods and the Lord, like that. We think mythology means religious. We made that a synonym for dharma. Mythological means religious, spiritual. But if you actually look at the dictionary, you will see mythological means it's imaginary. We didn't think, and we actually accepted, and we started writing our books, children's comics, mythological stories. So why I went into this, let's go back to the purport. Kiruchura Gopinath, situated in Remuna. So I was trying to explain to you why Srila Prabhupada is writing. So this is not just to the Indians, this is to the whole world. When Vedas are presented to the world, they don't speak Sanskrit, they understand English. So this essay written by this person, that is what is presented to the rest of the world about Vedic culture and about the Vedas. That's what they know. So whenever they want to know anything about the Vedas, about the religion that people follow in India, they refer to Max Muller's essay. That is why intentionally the Vedas have been buried, covered. And whatever little here and there in Parampara, what they were following, that was not entertained, that was not encouraged, that was not supported to go forward. So now when we read, or when the world reads Caitanya Caritamrita, Mahaprabhu went to Remuna, or Mahaprabhu went to this, this place or that place, what is the impression people are going to have? It's mythology. It's like a fairy tale. You hear about Cinderella and then you know it doesn't exist. It's a nice story to hear and to watch, but we know it's for kids. It's myth, right? It's a fairy tale. Now when you read Caitanya Charitamrita, for them, when they say this is mythological, from their background of what Vedas are and what Vedic culture is, with that background of mythology, when they read Mahaprabhu went to Remuna or Mahaprabhu went to Kirchor, Gopinath, Sakshi Gopal, what will people think? Nice story. I had fun, but it's not real. So now Srila Prabhupada is exactly giving the location. This is there to this day. It's a railway station here. Even it is there now. This is the place where Mahaprabhu went. Then you see the authenticity. It's not just a myth or mythology. This is history. This actually happened. So that's one reason when we read purports, we will see whenever there is any mention of any place that Mahaprabhu went or performed a pastime, Prabhupada goes into details of how to get to that place, even up to the point of, it's 2 miles here and then you have to walk and you have to take a rickshaw or something and go. That's where you will find that place. To show that these are actually authentic places, it's not just a mythology or story. That's one thing. Of course, the other thing will be for devotees who are reading, they can actually go there also, right? When we have parikramas, how to get to that place. Now we are, Srila Prabhupada actually went also. We hear some Prabhupada Leela, the temples that he used to go on regular basis. So that's why we hear the details here, how to get to Kirchor Gopinath, the exact location, and about Sakshi Gopal, like that, and who is the person in charge there. Also the people, right? It's not just about the place, who is managing and what is their origin. They are coming in disciplic succession, like that. So again, coming back to the pastimes, Mahaprabhu is now, after taking permission from his mother Sachi Mata, he is headed to Jagannath Puri. So in short, Mahaprabhu said he will go to Vrindavan. Because he had been eager to go to Vrindavan always. And now, as soon as he took sannyas, he said, I'm going to Vrindavan. And there Srila Prabhupada explained why he wants to go to Vrindavan after taking sannyas. This is another lesson, because Mayavadi sannyasis, and he took from Advaita school. So generally when they take sannyas in Advaita school, that means leave this world. Brahma Satyam Jagan Mithya, this world is false. All the places here are false and everything else here is false. But after taking sannyas, he wants to go to Vrindavan. Why? Because taking sannyas is meant for surrendering oneself, one's body, mind and words to the service of Krishna. He wanted to go to Vrindavan. So when he came to Shantipur, when his mother heard that he would go to Vrindavan, she requested Mahaprabhu, Vrindavan is very far away from Bengal, from Mayapur, Navadvip. So I will never hear any information from you. It takes months and months, because people used to walk to places back then. No, railways. They literally walked, and it would take several months to reach Vrindavan. So if somebody had to go to Vrindavan, get some message of Mahaprabhu and come back, it would take 1 year to even hear about. And by the time he would come back, the message would probably be even outdated. What happened 6 months ago, and what's happening right now. So Sachimata requested, it's too far. Please make your headquarters in Jagannath Puri. Jagannath Puri is non-different from Vrindavan, right? The same Lord who lives in Vrindavan, Krishna, he lives in Jagannath Puri. And it's not far away from Mayapur. Devotees are always going to Jagannath Puri for Rath Yatra and coming back. Every year they go. And it is not as far. So I will get, because many devotees are going and coming, I will get some news about you, and that will keep me pacified. Because she's not going to be able to see him ever again. He has taken sannyas, is leaving. But at least she'll get some news about what he is doing, like that. So to oblige his mother, Mahaprabhu said, yes, I will go to Jagannath Puri. So on the way to Jagannath Puri, he went with again a few devotees. On the way, what are the places that he visited? Principal ones, Srila Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami is mentioning here. So Mahaprabhu went to Kirchor Gopinath, he went to Sakshi Gopal. And Srila Prabhupada in the purport explained how to get to these places today and what is the exact location of these places today. So I think we can stop there. The details of the pastimes that happened in one more thing is about the breaking of the sannyas danda. That also happened on the way to Jagannath Puri. So these three pastimes are mentioned: visiting Kirchor Gopinath, visiting Sakshi Gopal, and breaking of the sannyas danda of Lord Chaitanya by Nityananda Prabhu. And the details of these pastimes will be given later on. So we will end here. Thank you all very much, devotees. Hare Krishna.
Can you tell that all those visiting?
He visited Remuna. Remuna means Kirchor Gopinath. Then Sakshi Gopal.
Okay.
And also the Nityananda Prabhu breaks Mahaprabhu's sannyas danda. The river's name is Suvarna Rekha. And after Nityananda Prabhu broke that sannyas danda, that place itself got that river is named Danda Bhanga Nadi. The river where The Danda was broken.
Danda
Bhanga Nadi.
Banga Nadi.
Danda Bhanga Nadi. But
Where is
actually,
it when you said?
the name of that river is Suvarna Rekha. It's on the way from Shantipur to Jagannath Puri. Exact location I'm not sure.
Okay.
Hare Krishna. Thank you, everyone. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Mataji. Hare Krishna.